Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to go over my presentation for downsizing and preparing to sell for those of you who can't make it to one of the webinars. So many of you may have lived in your home for many, many years, and that's when we tend to accumulate a lot of stuff. And it's also very stressful because we have the fear of the unknown, right? Where am I going to move to? What am I going to do? What's life going to be like? Most often, you've been in your home for over 25 years, and that can create anxiety, uncertainty, and you may just be overwhelmed by that thought, right? This is where you raised your family, had children. So I want to walk you through and hopefully calm down some of those fears a little bit. So my name is Christina Swain. A little bit about me is that we started the Swain team back in 2001. My mother started it, I should say, and she was licensed since 1986. She has been retired since 2017, and she was my mentor. I went on to build my own real estate career and open my own brokerage, Swain Real Estate. So I've been in the business for 25 years. I do have a degree in marketing from Temple. I do enjoy listing and selling homes and trying to get the most for them. That's my game. Um, Lived in Bucks County my whole life. Have my real estate broker's license, which allows me to open my own office. I have my own office in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I'm very passionate about finding the right marketing strategy to get people the most and helping them through this transition. And I'm also a team leader and I'm an aggressive negotiator. A lot of times this is a good chunk of your money, right? Your home. So you want to get the most when you sell. So there are four golden rules that I follow. If I want to buy the home myself, or recommend it to a family member, I would never recommend it to you. The same goes with selling. So if I wouldn't do, I'm not going to tell you to spend more money than you have to sell or tell you to make repairs because I want you to do what's best for you, not what's best for me. I negotiate it as if it was my own money on the table. I'm always here for you. I'm your agent, your fiduciary, and I take that seriously. I will always be honest about house values. I'm not going to, there are other agents out there that will tell you your home is worth more to try to get the listing or to try to get the home to promote. That's not the way I operate. I want to be honest with you and set upfront expectations. Client always is more important than any commission or any money. You guys come first. This is your life. And I really honestly take that seriously. I want you to have a good experience and have someone who has systems so that stress is relieved, that you feel comfortable and confident that you're making the right decision. A few home seller testimonials that I have. I've worked with a lot of people who've been in their home for years and helped them transition over that time. There's quite a few of them on Google. So, how to know when it's the right time to make a move? This can be really difficult if you've been in your home for a long time, right? Because this is where you've raised your family. This is everything you know is this home. So, how do you decide when it's right to leave? So, if your current home's becoming too much to maintain, okay, is the lawn too much? Is the gardening too much? I feel like sometimes in these summers, the gardening's too much where I'm at. It can be very overwhelming very easily. Are any stairs or home, your upkeep, is it a challenge for you? Do you have unused rooms? I know a lot of us do. Would a move improve your lifestyle or reduce your stress? I mean, I know going out and doing the weeding every summer, having to worry about the snow in the winter adds stress to my life. And sometimes just being able to go to different location, whether you're moving close to children or you want to do a 55 plus or independent living. That can improve your lifestyle because now you have more people to socialize with and you don't have to worry about the day to day tasks around the house. Are you looking to move closer to a family member, right? Some people move closer to grandkids, kids. Consider the emotional, financial, and physical needs, not just your age. Like, what's going on? Would it make more sense financially for you to make a move and get out of the house that's costing you so much? So, we want to improve your quality of life. It's not just about moving to a smaller home, it's about making your life simpler. So, how to sort through so many belongings without feeling overwhelmed? And that's again, like when you're sitting in the home a lot of times, like you feel overwhelmed by, oh, there's so much to do, right? So you want to start early. Just take your time. This doesn't have to be a big rush and have to get done tomorrow, right? Let's focus on one space at a time. So let's say you have a dining room buffet, right? You take one drawer out at a time. You could easily take the drawer out and go sit in front of the TV, right? And just sort through it and make four categories: keep, donate, sell, and give to family. Only keep what adds value to your life. It's so easy to keep just the simplest things. And I get this because I do it. Like you get a nice bag from I don't want to say takeout, but from a store you go to, right? It's a nice paper bag, and you think, oh, I could use this to put a gift in to give to somebody. And honestly, it sits in the closet. And I'm guilty of it. So that's why I laugh because it's so easy to do. And after doing downsizing and helping people move after all these years have been in their home, we all collect the same thing. It's like, oh, this is nice. I don't want to get rid of it. So we want to keep what adds value to your life, not what takes up space. And ask for help when it's needed. So this is my one room at a time method. We don't tackle the whole house, like I said. Let's start in like the dining room at the buffet, right? So we sit down, we take out a drawer, and we make it manageable. Maybe you want to work in increments. Like, okay, 5 minutes a day. I'm going to do one drawer or one cabinet in the kitchen a day. Pick an area, pick a manageable amount of time, and just pick away at it. And you want to finish one space at a time before starting another. So at least finish the dining room buffet before you move on to the kitchen Tupperware, right? So you want to celebrate the small wins and just move at a manageable pace. Set the timer on your phone, set an egg timer or the kitchen timer, and just have it handy. Keep it manageable. Ask yourself these questions before we get rid of an item. Have I used this item in the last year? Or would you buy it again? Does it truly bring you joy? Does it have a functional purpose in your life? Am I keeping it out of guilt? Is someone else more likely to use it? We want to keep the memories, not necessarily everything else, right? Give yourself grace. This is really important. You have to remember that downsizing isn't just about moving, right? It's about simplifying your life, getting rid of the stress and everything you've accumulated over the years. It's about memories, family, a change, new beginnings in life. Remember, take breaks. Keep the pace, right? Just keep that timer going. Commit to 20 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, whatever works for you. And you definitely want to celebrate the progress. Like, yeah, I got the dining room done. You know, notice those little wins and accept help from anybody willing to help, right? Kids, family members, friends. Don't save everything for your children. A lot of people realize this because I know this has been out and publicized, but many adult children appreciate the memories, but they don't want all the possessions. They don't want to hold on to everything because a lot of times people feel bogged down when they have too much stuff. Instead, ask them, what do you truly want? Share family stories now. Maybe even give them the family heirlooms now so you can see them enjoying them. That's what life's about. Build your downsizing team. You don't have to do this alone. Some people do, and they're good at it, and that works. But you may need a team. And a good team members could be a realtor, a senior move manager, an estate sale company, movers, financial advisor, friends and family, of course, attorney. You never know what you'll need. Your best return on investment. So this is what I get. Okay. So should I do repairs? Now, when we look at repairs, we want to ask ourselves, is this a good return on investment? So typically, these are our best returns on investment. Curb appeal. What people see when they're standing outside the home, right? Is it pretty? Is it overrun with weeds or vines, right? What are people looking at? New entry door has a great return on investment. Landscaping, is it pretty out front, right? The new garage door, is it nice? Is it an older painted garage door that's now faded? These are simple little fixes that can give you a great return. Updated kitchens and updated bathrooms. So I tell people you want to do a minor remodel. The minor, just little updating, can be as simple as changing your cabinet pulls in the kitchen from older, darker gold ones to an updated brushed nickel, right? That can honestly make a kitchen give it a quick turnaround sometimes. Um, that's the kind of things we're going to recommend. I'm not going to tell you to spend $50,000. That might even be a low number now on a kitchen or a new bathroom, right? Paint can give the home a fresh look inside, right? Especially if it's not neutral. That can definitely help and it just attracts people because paint is seen as another thing to do. It's time consuming and buyers just can be overwhelmed by the amount of things that need to be done because everybody's so busy today. Staging. Staged homes often sell 73% faster. It's crazy. When we prepare the home, we are essentially staging it. So we're going to get into staging in our 5 costly mistakes. So lack of staging, number 1. Number 2, improper pricing. 3 is poor marketing of the home. 4, poor negotiation. And 5, there's nobody there watching the contract and overseeing the details. Lack of staging. So your return on staging, again, the average staging investment is 1 to 3% of the house's asking price, which generates an average profit of 8 to 10%. So that's a great return on investment. So staging doesn't have to be expensive. Let's break it down, right? So staging is basically preparing the home for the market. It can be as simple as removing the clutter. Let's remove personal items. This allows the buyer to be able to picture themselves in the home. We want to depersonalize. Arranging furniture or removing just an extra chair, right? So a lot of times, I walk into people's living rooms or family rooms, and there's just one extra piece of furniture in the room. A lot of time, it blocks the flow or the walking, the path for your walk. We want to make the rooms look as large as possible. And sometimes it's just one extra. Quite often, it's an armchair or a recliner that just blocks our path for walking. and it makes the room feel smaller. So we want to make the rooms feel as large as possible. So adding a throw pillow on a couch, that can add a little touch that makes the room pop, right? Let's say we have an all neutral room and we throw a red pillow on the couch and that makes it pop, right? We want to just do something little to make it look nice and staged, homey, right? Staging is all about creating the emotion, right? This is what it helps us do. When it comes down to it with our marketing, staging helps create emotion because you want to create emotion in buyers because that emotion fuels them wanting to buy it, right? Because buyers buy with emotion, it's never logical. They fall in love with a home. And staging can help elicit that emotional response from buyers. This is where they're going to raise their family and start new memories, just as you did. And we want to tap into that. We want to create emotion not only in person, but also in our pictures that we put online beforehand. Because we want people to scroll through the picture, go, "Ooh, I really like this. I like that. I really need to make an appointment. I really want to see this home. I really like it. I'm excited." Is staging necessary? Staging is not necessary. However, it will help you appeal to a wider range of buyers. So when we neutralize and prepare the home for the market, we can then pull in more people to look at the home. And if we want to net the most, that's our goal. So staged homes are going to sell 6 times faster. Your return on investment averages 169%. Buyers want move-in condition. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the less work they have to do, the better, because they're buying with their eyes. And staging makes that great first impression and helps create demand. Staging tips. You want to remove unnecessary furniture. Less is more, right? We want to make the rooms look as large as possible. And we want to flood them with natural light. If we're in an interior townhouse, or if our home doesn't get a lot of light, we want to then use LED lighting and lighten it up as much as possible because people are attracted to bright rooms and light. We want to keep corners clear and keep the tables clear. Again, this helps open up the space and allows people to start to picture themselves in it, right? And that's why we're removing personal pictures, knickknacks. We're depersonalizing. We want to clean out closets. A great rule of thumb is I tell people you don't want to be more than 70% full because people go around and they open up closet doors. And as a rule of thumb, like I said, the 70% full, but people begin to think if it's 110% full, if their stuff doesn't fit here, how is my stuff going to fit here? It's a subconscious thought people have that there's just not enough space. Have the home professionally cleaned if need be, right? Finally, start packing. You're moving. If we have to, rent a storage space. Pricing above the market. So we want to price realistically. So part of our strategy in selling for the most, price is an integral piece of it. So pricing your home just right. When you're overpriced, the freshness of the home's appeal is lost in 2 to 3 weeks. People look at the days on market and they go, well, why has it been on the market this long? Because homes are selling now within a week still. So when you're priced below market, if we put it a hair below, let's say the home down the street that's very comparable to yours, the conditions the same, location, that sold for 500. So if we put yours at like 490, oh, well, we might be able to, we can then drive up demand and get people in the door, get it moving. try to get a bidding more. When we price it just right, we are pricing within 3% of the market, I typically say. So, and we want to look at pending and recent sales, especially now. We want to go back and see what is happening right now because 6 months is such a change in our market at this moment. It's like, wow, 6 months is a long time. Appraiser will look and go back 6 months, but especially after homes prices have been driven up by bidding wars like we see now, we want to look at the most recent data. Don't price above market. When we price above market, you will sit. Buyers know that prices now because they're everywhere. They watch Zillow, Realtor.com. They're out there looking. They know what they want to buy and don't want to buy. And when we price too high, people just go, nah, I'll wait for another one. So you want to price based upon how the home is staged and condition. How did you prepare it? Do we have fresh paint? Is it remodeled inside? Are we updated? We have to look at all that. Again, we want to price within 3% of the market. And our first 2 weeks on market is key. The longer we sit, the higher the probability goes up that we get people to come in and start lowballing us. We want to listen to the feedback. Like, what feedback are we getting? The first 2 to 3 days, you're going to get the most people in the house. And then what feedback are we getting? Are people saying they want to write an offer? Are people saying it's priced too high? Are people saying they don't like that the home's on a main road? We have to listen to all these. And we want to price based upon pending sales and recent sales. Like I said, we want the most recent data. So, calculating the sales price of a home. So, let's say we have your home on the market, and I do have people that are like, well, I really like to try this number. Okay. So, let's say we try that number, and the house down the street sold for 500, remember, and it's similar to yours. We'll leave this as our example. So, drive-bys, but you're only getting drive-bys. And drive-bys are someone slowing down. They're looking at the sign, maybe writing down the phone number. That's 12% off where you should be price wise, 12+% off. If you have drive-bys and a low number of showings, just a few showings, you're 6 to 12% off the price. Showings, but no offers, 4 to 6% off where we should be. And then when we're priced within 3% of the market, we should get offers. That's exactly where we want to be. Mistake number 3, not having professional pictures done and poor marketing. So you do not want to hire a realtor who has cell phone pictures or dark photos. You want to make sure that you have professional pictures done. Because let's face it, buyers are going to go on Zillow and search or whatever their search engine is, and they're going to look at these pictures first, their first picture, and decide whether to click on the house. So we need your pictures are going to be your number one marketing tool. I can't stress that enough. That's going to determine the number of people we get into your house, that and price. So pictures, number one marketing tool. Buyers want to see the most pictures possible online. So when you stage, AKA prepare the house for the market, we can take more pictures. I want to take several angles of different rooms. And like I said, buyers go online and they're like, oh, this one's pretty. Let me click on that. Oh, this one's pretty. I like this look. And then they go from there. Buyers don't read descriptions until they've fallen in love with your home pictures. Then they'll read, maybe. Tools to create demand. What is the most important element of marketing? It's demand. We want a bidding war. We need to create demand. And there's some tools I utilize to help create that. Coming soon campaign. I want to put it out there ahead of time so that people know this home's going to come on the market. Here's what it looks like. Here's what it has. And that we start to get appointments stacked up and lined up in advance, right? You want to have the home pre inspected. I like this a lot because what happens is, like, I'm doing a deal now and we just had the home inspection done. The buyers had it done, not the sellers. And they came back with a laundry list of things to ask for. And I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. And it literally was. The roof was 3 years old. They wanted a new roof. The heater was older, but it's in good working order. We had it certified. They wanted a new heater. You can't ask for a new roof, a new heater. We disclose these things ahead of time. This is not news to a buyer. So when you have the home pre-inspected, you can cut out games that these buyers play. The buyer's agents typically more than the buyers that they play. Here's my home's flaws. Here's what I've repaired. Like, let's say there's a GFCI that's faulty in the kitchen. Repaired, right? Done. Or let's say you don't want to do anything. Price it, sell it as is. Right? Here's what's wrong with the home. You base your offer knowing all this, and it makes our life easier. It can also uncover things that you didn't know about your home. You just never know. I had a home inspection, and I would have never guessed. Now, this isn't where I had the seller. I had the buyer, and there was mold in the attic because what happens is over the years, they just vented the bathroom fans into the attic. And it was like, oh, and it had mold. And then the home inspector went into the crawl. And these aren't spaces we all go in, right? The home inspector went into the crawl space and the home was in a wooded area. So termites weren't a surprise, not a big deal, but they had eaten the rim joist away. And it's like, okay. Again, this isn't a big deal. My buyer wasn't looking to back out, but these are repairs that were needed. And the seller didn't want to make them. They didn't know about them, and they had priced their home at the top of the market. And this was a big deal. These are repairs that need to be disclosed and need to be handled. Or you just sell it as is and disclose it, right? So this is where we enter into, I feel like it's more of a protection for yourself to have your home pre-inspected. Do you have to do it? No, that's up to you. Marketing. Another element in creating demand, right? We want to get it out there, get a lot of people interested in. And that's what I want to do. And part of the marketing is the sales price. People are drawn to what, if a home's overpriced, again, let's say we listed it's worth $500, we listed it at $550. It takes the demand out of people. Like, they're not like, oh, okay, we'll see if that one, let's see how long that sits and then we'll go on. And people say that. I do that with buyers all the time. I tell people, let's hold off on that one. And then we'll go in and make an offer. Because you can't make an offer the first week on the market because they don't want to pay that. And people just don't, in this market, they don't go in much under because they know sellers have the upper hand still. So those homes typically sit when they're priced over market. And staging, preparing the home for the market, does help elicit those emotional responses from buyers. So coming soon. I tell people, I was just out at a home last month and she's not sure when she wants to sell. And I said, that's fine. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. But let's take exterior pictures in case it's this winter. She wants to move when her daughter moves. So I said, okay, beautiful pool, beautiful flowers in bloom in the backyard. So we took exterior pictures when everything was in bloom and the pool was open, just in case she sells in the winter. We want to put it on the coming soon websites to create demand. And We want to do all this way before it hits the market, right? We're going to line people up. Like, so what happens is buyers have search criteria saved. Okay. They'll go in and have, I want a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath in X, Y, and Z school districts, right? Okay. Let's say your home meets that criteria. As soon as it hits coming soon and active, it is emailed out both times to them. So when they get it and it sees coming soon, it's like, oh, I got to make an appointment for this. This meets my criteria. And then, oh, when it hits active, they get the email again. Oh, I got to get this appointment made. So it's almost like the coming soon becomes a reminder for people too. Like, oh, I want to go look at this, right? So it's great in that way because it keeps getting it out there in front of people that have your criteria saved, your home criteria saved. That's why we see the most people come through the first 2 to 3 days on the market, because we've reached the people who are really interested, the people who are waiting for homes to come on the market. They're the ones that have the built-in demand. Oh, I've been waiting for a house. I've been outbid on a lot more, right? So they have that built-in demand. And when our house is pretty and nice, right, it shoots that demand up, and then they schedule their appointment because they know they don't have time to waste. Pre-inspection, and I've kind of gone over this. You want to have your home ready for the market with repairs done so you don't get nickel and dimed, right? So we're going to have that report written out. And then what I do typically, if you want to make repairs, is we sit down and we go over, okay, GFC iron kitchen repaired, right? Oh, there's a spot of stucco needed on the chimney, because that's cosmetic at that point, because you're already going over block. So what we do with that is then that's cosmetic. It depends on how bad it looks. We look at it, we talk about it. What's the return, right? So we judge it based on that. You could save thousands all because your defects are on the table up front, and your buyer can base their offer knowing that, instead of having them come back and have a laundry list of ridiculous items to ask for. Poor negotiation skills. This is the one a lot of people that goes unseen because people don't know what happens in the background. You don't know what happens when an agent's negotiating and how they're negotiating for you. So your average realtor, the average realtor is part-time. Their pictures are not professional. There's no pre-marketing done, right? Are we hitting those people a couple times that have your home criteria saved in advance, right? That's what we want to do. There's no easy exit listing. I offer I call it an easy exit listing. If you're not 100% satisfied, if I'm not doing what I said I'm going to do, you can fire me. I don't want to hold anybody into a contract that isn't happy. It's just not productive for either one of us, for me or for you. If your goal is to get your home sold, no matter what, I want to help you do that. And if I'm not the right person, so be it. You want to have a realtor who has a proven track record, who has a communication guarantee. You know how they're going to communicate with you. I have my communication guarantee in writing, so you know when you can hear from me and when to expect from me. That's very important because a lot of people have dealt with agents who are iffy with their communication. You don't know when they're going to return your call. You don't know when you're going to hear from them next. And we want to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Can you guys guess? Now think about it. How many homes the average agent sells, right? Think about this one. You'd be surprised to find out the average realtor is only selling 2 homes a year. The majority of agents out there are part-time, so they're not spending the bulk of their time doing real estate. You want to hire a full time realtor, someone that has experience, because it's a lot different than someone who does this part time. Honestly, you want someone who has systems that just knows what's going on, can anticipate the next hurdle. If you're only selling two homes a year, you don't have the experience over time to be able to say, okay, we have this deal coming up. We have this appraiser coming up. Let's watch out for that one. Let's watch out for this. Do you know what I mean? To anticipate it, to be able to smooth it over and make the deal less stressful. You may be paying them less, but they're not going to have the same level of expertise that a full time agent is going to have that's there to help you and guide you. So, poor negotiation skills. Like I said, it's very hard to figure out if someone has good negotiation skills or not. And one of the tools I like to use is the list price. So, what we list a home for to the sales price ratio. So, what we list versus what the home sold for. So, your ordinary agent, right, in the area is going to sell two homes. We know, right? They're part time. On average, with our high demand, low inventory market, they net 101.5% of list price. The fact is, I average 106% for that same home. So if we had a $100,000 house, because this is just easy math and one doesn't exist anymore, I would negotiate a sales price to 106% or $106,000. Your average realtor averages 101,500. So what are you going to do with that extra money, right? A lot of people like to look at, oh, but I'm going to pay the realtor less, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to negotiate, and they don't know how to drive up demand for your home. And that's what I'm here to do, right? I just did one. Every deal's not the same, right? Every person isn't the same. And they did not enjoy showing the home. It was very, very stressful for them. They were downsizing and going from a 55 plus to an independent living. And I could see that the strain the showings were putting on them. And we had only shown it 3 times so far. But one of the offers we got, the first offer was really great. It was well above what I thought we were going to get. It was 13,000 above asking. I actually thought we might have been priced a little high. We didn't have a ton of showings lined up, but we had showings. And one of their main concerns was the upstairs furniture. They had to get rid of that upstairs furniture. Well, this buyer came in and said, okay, we'll give you $13,000 more. And then I went back to him and I said, I knew the sellers were struggling with all the showings that were scheduled. There were only 5 scheduled, but it was just hard for them. So I said to them, why don't I do this? We have this great agreement, which you're thrilled with. Why don't I just go back and throw in there, hey, we'll take it off the market. Again, I'm building up the demand. They don't know how many people are actually coming through the house. We didn't have that many scheduled, but it worked in our favor. I said, if you guys take that upstairs furniture, then we'll shut down showings and you have yourself a deal. And it worked. Because sometimes it's not all about money. It's about what is stressing out you with your home. And if we can alleviate that, then hey, it works, right? So they were able to leave whatever they wanted. It was a huge entertainment center with a huge wraparound sofa upstairs. So he didn't have to pay to get rid of it. And we got 13,000 more. So it all depends on the situation and what we're going to negotiate for. You never know. Most of the time I'm going back to people. What I do is if we have multiple offers, I create a spreadsheet. And I not only look at price or sales price, what people are offering. We want to look at the terms, right? How much are they putting down on their mortgage? What type of mortgage is it? This all speaks to how strong of a buyer they are, right? When do they want settlement? Are they asking for inspections? These are all things we want to look at. And then let's say we have a really strong buyer, but their sales price is a little bit less. And then on this one that isn't as strong, I have a higher sales price. I want to go back to that person with the who's stronger and try to get them up and go from there. My goal is always to get you the most. So I'm going to sit there and play with the factors and try and figure out who's going to get us there and who's going to get us to the settlement table with no problems. Mistake number 5, nobody there to oversee the details. I know I can't do it alone. It's hard to keep every ball in the air in real estate. You're juggling a lot of balls. The inspectors are calling you. A title company has questions. There's a termite report. There's yard signs to be put out. There's every little thing comes into play that you don't realize. And it can be a lot. So an experienced expert realtor knows that you can't handle everything alone. The average agent can do it alone because they're only selling 1 to 2 homes a year. The expert realtor has a team. Like I have a team that works with me. I have Carrie, who's my buyer's agent, who takes buyers out, again, so I can focus on the listings and getting your home sold. And then I also have Kelly, who's also been in the business for 30 years, who does my paperwork. She's my transaction coordinator. She's there in the background watching the deal. Like, okay, this step's next, that step's next. And I'm there as well. I do not walk away. One of the things a lot of people have with a team is you'll get handed off to somebody else. That doesn't happen with me. When you hire me, you're getting me. I'm the one responsible for getting the job done, and I will be there. But I call Kelly my insurance policy because we're both there watching the deal, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. I am here to protect you. Options for staying in the home after settlement. So moving the same day your home is sold is stressful. I've told this to people and try to get people to understand this because it's just too much to do to make a move in one day. Sometimes I have people who purchase ahead of time and then they decide, okay, that's much easier. Now I'll move next month. And that gives them time to empty out the house, get rid of items they don't want, have it clean for the new buyer moving in. So or we could do, that's a great option, or we could do what we call a post-settlement agreement. So that allows you to stay in the home and rent back after you've sold it to the buyers. This also would give you cash in your pocket. So let me back up and explain it a little bit more, okay? So let's say we want to move on and buy another home, right? But all our cash is in the house you have now, right, for sale. So what's great about that is the post-settlement addendum. Okay, so we can sell your home, you can stay in it, we can access that cash, and then buy the next house. There's that. Or it's also good just to be able to stay in the house for a few days if you're relocating, right? Or if it all depends on the different situations, but it's there to help you. And when we create demand and have a lot of people interested, it's much easier to be able to ask for a rent back. It's an extended closing timeline. We've done that. I tell people I've also had people move into temporary apartment housing if they've wanted to. Some people want to do this, We lay out all the options and we figure out what works for you. That's our goal. I don't want anybody to ever be homeless. I won't allow that to happen. Every move is customized for you and your timeline and what's going on with your situation. Estate sales, donations, and trusted local resources. I have different companies that I work with that I can recommend to you. I have a great junk removal guy. He's such a nice guy. He's local. He's not a franchise, so his prices can be much more competitive. I have a great senior move manager that I work with. She's awesome, top notch, very professional, gets the job done, and knows how to do her job. She's been in that space for 20 years now. We were just talking, and I can't believe I've known her that long. I have great movers and storage companies that I work with. Um, if you need anybody, feel free to reach out and just give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm always happy to help. If we're looking at senior living 55 plus considerations, I'm happy to help with that as well. Independent living, assisted, right? I'm very familiar with all the 55 plus communities in the area and what the different ones offer. You may want to move to a ranch home or main floor living. You may just want a single home, and that's fine too. I understand that and I help with that. So, next step, if you're thinking about selling, I offer a free 30-minute consultation. I typically do them between Monday and Friday during the day, right? So I come out for 30 minutes. I make any recommendations on repairs or updates to the home. And again, this is all based around when I come out for the consultation, it's based around what your goals are, right? If I don't want to do anything to sell, okay, then we don't do anything to sell, right? We don't have to. I'm going to offer staging tips, paint color ideas like, should we do this? Should we do that? Ideas on what to do with all your stuff. Give you a list of priorities that need to be done, right? So the ideal goal of this is to give you to have the consultation that gives you a prioritized list of things that need to be done. Where do I start, right? And when we want to create a timeline based upon your goals, like we can schedule it months to weeks and even years in advance. The goal is to get you started, get you prepared so that you can have a timeline so you can get moving on it, right? A lot of time people get paralyzed because they're just overwhelmed by what has to be done. And this can give you a starting point. I'm going to answer your questions to the best of my ability. I'm going to help create a plan that maximizes your budget. That's my goal. And I can look past any clutter. Believe me, I've seen it all. Same thing. So I want to know, how do you guys feel now? I'm hoping this helps you feel you got something out of this presentation and you feel less concerned, stressed out, intimidated, or even anxious and uncertain about the process, right? I want to help take that and relieve your stress. If you guys need anything, have a question, give me a call, 215-757-7257. Reach out, email me, the Swain team at Gmail. I'm always happy to help answer any question. I have people who reach out and ask little questions like, oh, I'm a few years away, but will this give me a return? Should I put a 50-year roof on versus a 30-year roof? I get all kinds of questions. Feel free to reach out. Thank you guys for sitting down, listening to me. If you need anything, I'm here. Have a great day.